Welcome to the Offshore Club's fun-filled, fact-filled, fast-paced blockbuster podcast, Coffee with Carib Carter, coming to you exclusively from where the sun never sets on the good life at a great price. And now, fill up your favorite coffee mug and join your expert and your guide, Carib Carter Clues.
Hello, and welcome to Coffee with Carib Carter. I think this is episode 39 or 40. I've lost count now. We're starting to get way up there in the high numbers, and I'm not good at math. But it's great to be here again. This is the high point of my week. Getting to be with you all for Coffee with Carib Carter is really, I look forward to it every week. And I know from a lot of the notes I get from you all, emails, communications, texts, even that a lot of you all enjoy it too. So that's just fantastic. It's just it's a great time for me. It's a time, kind of a decompression time for me, where I get to talk to people I like about the things I love. So welcome to episode whatever it is. All right. And by the way, make sure to go to Carib Carter Facebook page, LinkedIn, Rumble, because remember, I post a Carib Carter Minute pretty much every day, sometimes twice a day. One of them got this past week, one of them yesterday, I think it was, got censored by the fascists at Facebook because I criticized one of their icons, this Amarova creature, Marxist that Biden wants to make in control of your bank account. So if they accepted me, an apology from me at Facebook Central there, Zuckerbergville, or contrition, they're sorely disappointed, because I'm just going to pile on, okay? Because you all need to know the truth about what's going on. And why? Because it's essential to your escape. The more you know, the more you're going to know that it's time to do your Plan B escape route. As you know, I have 2 places in Honduras. We're looking for a place in Nicaragua. And I want you to do that. At the very least, have it ready, okay? Have it ready. So if, and frankly, when the time comes when you say, I've had enough, you have a place to go. Okay. My place is the beach, which brings me to why I'm not there now, why I'm here. I'm in a much nicer setting than usual, aren't I? Usually you have gay pottery in the background. This is my brother's office. Some of you know who follow me on Carib Carter Facebook and Rumble and LinkedIn. You know, I'm having the honor of being a caregiver right now because he broke his hip. And so here we are, and I am in his office, which is just full of incredible memorabilia of our life, including, let me show you something. You know, somebody said to me the other day, I got a text message from somebody saying, you know, you really seem to love foreigners. Why do you think you are so prone in that direction? I mean, even the point I'm married to one, my wife is Honduran, as all of you know, Angelita. Well, this picture may help explain it. That is my uncle and aunt, okay? That is my Uncle Mimo Marciano and my Aunt Margaret Zagami, okay? Isn't that incredible? Isn't that wonderful? It's heartwarming. And that they, you know, my mother used to say, especially my Aunt Margaret, she says, she has a map of Italy on her face. They're from Reggio Calabria. And there's a beauty of these people. Those Italians that came back, they came here back in almost 100 years ago now. And those that all of them that are coming here now, you know, look, I'm totally against illegal aliens, the illegal invasion. My wife is legal. But if you get to know some of these people, that same beauty of person that you see there, simple beauty of person, is one of the reasons that I urge you to make your move. Because that's what you're going to find there. Okay. As a matter of fact, later in the show, I'm going to tell you what we have coming up. But one of the things is a great interview with Alyssa Esquivel, who some of you right now are saying, Alyssa Esquivel, wait a minute, the Expat Mom. Yeah. One of the most popular podcasts we did regularly is coming back every Wednesday. Alyssa Esquivel with her expat mom from Belize. She lives there. So it's real offshore club lifestyle, which, as you know, is what your offshore club is all about. So I'm very excited about that. Today, I'm going to go over letters. and emails and text messages I get from you all, just because I think every once in a while we like to do our quote letters to the editor, letters to Carib Carter, so you can, identify with how your fellow Offshore Club members are feeling. I think you'll see a lot of the things they write to me resonate. So I'll go over 4, 5, 6 letters that I've gotten, just so you'll see you're sharing a lot of the same sentiments, and I think you're going to be pleased with what people are saying. We're going to do a quick overview of something I announced to you, those of you who are members, in a letter last week. One of my letters from the desk of Carib Carter. I try and send out 2 or 3 a week. I should send you more, and I'm going to try to. But it was about our new expert Offshore Club Gurus Corner, where we're bringing in experts about diverse topics. Anything that is a member of the Offshore Club community you're going to be interested in, either while you're here making your preparations to move offshore, or once you get there, is going to be in the Gurus Corner. Remember last week I interviewed Romulus, the investment guy? Folks, please make sure you go regularly to Offshore Club, offshore.club. Subscribe to the free newsletter, the Offshore Club Gazette, because I think it's every Tuesday, his investment column is in there now, exclusively for Offshore Club members. Folks, this ain't just, well, you might want to invest in the markets. It's chapter and verse where the smart money is going, okay? And where it ain't going, both. So this guy is a 28-year expert, Wall Street expert that, praise the Lord. He said, yeah, okay, I'll do a free weekly column for Offshore Club members only. So it's part of the new Gurus Corner, and I'm going to tell you about another person with the adding to the Gurus Corner this coming week as well. We're going to do a little mini Mad Max. So I'm going to tell you about a speech I gave. Let's see, it was about 2 or 3 days ago to a very, very august group of major international investors out in Las Vegas. I did it by Zoom because I'm not getting on an airplane and have to wear a damn mask. I'm just not doing it. So I did it by Zoom, and I think you're going to be pretty interested in what I had to say about the Hydra Factor. And when I tell you what it is, you're going to go, yeah, exactly. And that's another reason I want to get offshore, away from the Hydra. We'll get into that. Quick dip into $1,000 listing Caribbean. A little unique approach this time, but I think it's important for you to hear what I had to share with you. As I said, our interview with Alyssa, which I pre-recorded, and is fantastic. Honestly, it is refreshing. I will guarantee you, when it's done, you're going to say, "Wow, that was refreshing," because it is. And then our motivation woman. So let's plunge right in. Okay, we got to move fast because I'm going to try and keep the Coffee with Carib Carter to under 40 minutes. Okay, I should try and keep it to 30, and I try, but I guess, my father was a Methodist minister. I guess I got the gift of gab from him. It was funny. I remember he was a minister of some big churches, one of them in Baltimore, where I was raised. I was raised in Baltimore back in the days when it was an incredible city. And one of the churches, and every Sunday, before Dad would start his sermon, he would take off his watch, right, and lay it down on the pulpit in front of him. And one of his members, Gil Britt, said to me one day, I really like the fact your father takes off that watch and puts it right in front of him where he can see it there before he starts preaching. And I said, I know, Mr. Britton, but I think what you don't understand is he puts it face down. Okay, so maybe I got that gift of gab from Dad, even though his sermons were a lot better than anything I have to say. But we're going to try. I'm going to move quickly so we can try and stay under the 40 minutes here. So let me go over with you some of the, just a sampling, and they are sampling because they reflect my inbox is full, hundreds of emails from every week from Offshore Club members. So, but write to me. I answer anytime one of them has a personal question. Some of them are just a greeting. Some of them are just signing up for the newsletter. Free newsletter, the Offshore Club Gazette daily. It's a blockbuster newsletter, the best in the offshore world, the international world, in terms of living the lifestyle offshore. But these letters I'm going to go over with you are reflective, and if there are a personal question like these, I'm going to read you for the most part. You bet I'm going to answer you. It's Carib Carter 7 Carib Carter 7, the number 7 at gmail.com. Okay. Write to me and let's get a correspondence going. So here we go. Here's one I got beginning of last week. Okay. It's from Tom C. Okay. I'm not going to give the names because I protect people's privacy. I grow more concerned daily about the loss of freedom. Here. And I think my taxes are $100 a year. So not bad. But we're looking in Nicaragua because of the things I just went over for Tom. Here's another email. I'm only going to do a couple of these because we got to keep moving. Carter, this is a little self-serving, but I like it. Carter, keep up the great work. Honduras looks nice, but I'm afraid the weather is a little way too similar to here in Florida. I have about 4 months of heaven and 8 months of hell, humid and tropical. Well, it is a little in some ways like Honduras. The only difference is there may be a breeze blowing there, okay? And there is. And she goes on to say that I'm looking for a country where the cryptocurrency is starting to be prevalent, or at least will be appreciated and embraced. Totally wanting, here in the U.S. agencies have their heads up there. Gluteus maximus, she used the short form word for that. Totally wanting to stifle innovation and amazing tech advances in the terms of digital money. Please keep me in the loop on what possibilities are down south of the border. Much appreciated. Heard you on a podcast 15 months ago. It was with Mikkel Thorpe, for escape artist. And you sound like a true patriot, one of my kind of people. So fantastic. That's from Alice in Florida. And I wrote back to her and discussed it with her. Obviously the number one place in Central America right now, cryptocurrency is El Salvador. They've made it an official currency, a legal tender for the country, entire country. You can buy a Mike Cobb community home there, which are the best homes in all of Central America. Check it out at ecidevelopment.com, ecidevelopment.com. If you want to buy a home in El Salvador, where they're honoring cryptocurrency, I think Bitcoin specifically. But what that tells you is going to be throughout Central America. I would, because she doesn't like the hot weather, obviously El Salvador is not going to be much better than Honduras, but I would keep an eye on Paraguay, Uruguay. I think they're going to be very much into cryptocurrency. I think everywhere in the world is, because I'm just going to be honest with you. You can only prop up the dollar for so long here in the U.S. When the Fed is printing 120 billion fiat dollars a month, fiat dollar, that's counterfeit money a month, sooner or later, you're going to have to collapse. It's part of the reason why inflation now, despite all the lies we were told by Yellen and Powell and Biden, even they now, because they're caught, have to admit inflation is now double digits. It's going to get worse. I think the average price of your turkey dinner is going to be up 14%. Gas in some places is up 20 to 30%. Heating oil this winter is going to be up 50%. The government's admitting that. Psaki, Biden's spokesperson, says, well, that's only a high-class problem for people like, she didn't add this, but it's what she meant, for people like me. Peonage does that. Yes, peonage does, because for those of us, hot dogs are also up 12 to 13%, okay? I love hot dogs. So, but the cryptocurrency is the future. Matter of fact, I work very closely with a gentleman who's one of the world's leading infrastructure developers. I'm talking trillions of dollars in infrastructure worldwide. And he just developed his own cryptocurrency, which at some point I'll keep you abreast of. We'll get into that later, okay, at some later date. So I really appreciate that letter. And the cryptocurrency, focus on Central America for that. You're going to have it there more than here. Don't forget, Biden's controller of the currency appointment has already said she's going to declare this. That's Amarova, the woman who went to the University of Moscow and wrote her thesis in praise of Karl Marx, has already said she's going after cryptocurrency. So focus your cryptocurrency south of the border, for God's sake, please. Okay. Another letter from, here we go, from Alan. Well, as per your message, we are interested in doing exactly what you're describing, as we are concerned about our future in this country. So please tell us what we can do and where we should go. Would prefer communicating over Signal, which I'm more than happy to do. I'm on Signal. And I do believe anytime you can, the more you can keep some of your messaging isolated, the better off you are in this country. So, it's where we are. I'm sorry. I'm never pulling any punches with you all. Remember, I worked in Washington over 40 years at the highest level of politics. It was a Washington operative, barring none. Somebody the other day said, you should only say that in the confessional booth, which is probably true. But so I wrote back and said, let's communicate it. Just keep watching, reading the Gazette, watching Coffee with Carib Carter every Monday at noon, so I can tell you about the great places you can go, and we'll communicate through Signal. Then some of them are just very straight and to the point. Carib Carter, looking for affordable living with amenities. Just that simple. So, and folks, you can write that to me. I'll get back and say, affordable living with amenities. In that particular case, I recommend the Grand Pacific in Nicaragua, another my top community, the top offshore community in all of Central America. So that's the answer to that, very simple and to the point. And that brings me to the last one I'm going over with you, because we're running out of time. And this last one is, I got this note, and I will tell you his name, Justin Bennett. The note saying, hello, as we start to emerge from the pandemic, the Fauci panic, many of us are still exhausted and longing for a time to breathe, relax, refuel, and recharge. Do you think your readers, your Offshore Club members, would be interested in a list of great resources that provide ideas on ways to recharge quickly throughout the day, exercising, eating healthy, etc.? Your website, which is terrific, will be featured in the piece as well. Would love to put something together for you that I can share with Offshore Club members, of which I am one, for free on your site. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you, Justin. Justin is a top fitness guru in America, and that segues right into my next segment, about the Gurus Corner, the Offshore Club Gurus Corner. He is our new fitness guru. Fantastic. Free. I already have his first column, which is just excellent. It is absolutely excellent. I thought I printed it out, but I didn't. But it's a great column. And I said to him, now, Justin, what we need to remember for Offshore Club members is, and I know from living there, and having 2 homes there now in Honduras, you're not always near a fitness club. So our people need to know how to stay fit, even without having somewhere where there are a bunch of weights or, Smiths and, bench pressing or whatever, the treadmills, the works. He said, I got it. And his first column, which I think is in tomorrow's, or rather, it's in this week's Offshore Club Gazette, okay? And on the website, offshore.club, really lays out for you the kinds of exercise you can do without any weights whatsoever, and still get resistance training, which is important, folks. Those of you who follow me on the Carib Carter Minutes on Facebook or Rumble or LinkedIn know that I do a lot of them from my basement, I call the dungeon, at my home in York, Pennsylvania, where I work out. And I over and over emphasize, stress with you, you've got to do resistance training. You got to do aerobics. It's what keeps you from aging, okay? You got to have the bone mass and the muscle strength, okay? I'm 75 years old. I'm down there. I'm not saying I love pumping a bunch of iron, but I do it, and I do other exercises like Justin lays out for us that don't require weights, okay? So our new Gurus Corner, you already have Romulus columns there, which are fantastic. Now you're going to have Justin's columns, which every week geared straight for Offshore Club members, getting you in shape to make your move, or if you're already there, helping you stay in shape, even if there's not a fitness style gym close by. That's every week at your Offshore Club, and in your Offshore Club Gazette. Subscribe, make sure you subscribe so you get that free every day. And we'll be doing an interview with Justin here on Coffee with Carib Carter soon. I have another one coming up. We're talking about the Gurus Corner. Folks, you will get this from no other offshore organization. You just won't, and I'm not criticizing them. International Living, Nomad Capitalist, the Live and Invest Offshore. None of them have that because we're lifestyle. What sets your Offshore Club apart from any other international organization is we're lifestyle. We're telling you how to live there, okay? Helping you find where to live and telling you how to live when you get there. And that's one of the reasons you're going to love Alyssa's interview coming up. And her regular show, the Expat Mom, which returns this Wednesday. So the Gurus Corner is very, very important. And you're going to have it soon every day about a variety of topics, every one of which you're going to love and are going to enrich your life. And even if perchance, and I hope it never happens, that you never get to make your move, you're still going to get a wealth of information and help from the Offshore Club Gurus Corner. But it's going to be even better for you if you make your move. All right, so let's do this thing. And speaking of making your move brings us to the next segment, which is going to be very quick. I gave a speech, as I mentioned earlier, to a group of very, very, frankly, well-to-do and well-connected investors, business-type executives from across the country, some internationally, last week at President's Week 25. Remember, I told you about it. I hope some of you were there. And we're gonna be providing videos for you. I got one email from somebody just this morning saying, when can I get those videos from the President's Week 25 conference that just concluded? And I'm going to let you know this coming week when you can get them, okay? Because I want you to see them. They're incredible. In my speech, I talked about the Hydra Factor, okay? I love show and tell. Okay, there it is, the Hydra Factor. The Hydra Factor. That is what you need to get offshore to escape. Get away from that thing. What is it? Well, those of you who are familiar with Greek mythology, you remember the Hydra was that awful monster, that multi-headed monster. How many heads are there? Yeah, I hate the thing. That every time you cut off one head, another would come after you. Okay, it would grow a new head and come after you again, looking a little different, another angle, but that's what it would do. That is now the U.S. government. You think you cut off a head, and what happens is it just comes out. You're looking down at that head, and it just comes at you from another angle, and it's all pre-planned. I know. I worked with politicians. They'll throw out a head that's so outrageous, like Janet Yellen's absurd, offensive, disgusting. Remember this one? The American Families Plan Tax Compliance Agenda. Remember her giving her talk to Congress about it, and saying it's only going after the wealthy, the very wealthy. And then we found out, no, actually, this is what she was going to use to monitor the accounts of anybody who had, ready for this, $600 transactions in a year. Thank God Tulsi Gabbard said, stop it. Don't ridicule people by lying like that to people. How many billionaires have if you're going after billionaires, why are you delving into invading the privacy of people who do $600 of transactions a year? So they were caught. And at first they said, oh no. Then they finally had to say, okay, oh well, we'll change it. Now they're going to act like you're going to change it. But just as at the Hydra, when that head falls, another one is going to come up that is going to look a little bit different, but do exactly the same thing. Invade your financial privacy, okay, to track every penny you have in order to confiscate it as necessary under the Fair Play Tax Plan. Okay, that's what it's all about. How will they do it? And I'm not going to go on with this too far. How they're going to do it? Well, they'll announce, okay, we've adjusted it now, and use weasel words. Like, remember when they said there's no inflation? Everybody said, don't tell us there's no inflation. We go to the store and see the price is up 10%. Oh, well, it's transitory. The weasel word. It was a lie, but it was the weasel word. They'll use some weasel words to bring another head out with the same invasion of your banking privacy. Or they might have Joe Biden just in the middle of the night sign an executive order. He signed more at this point in his presidency than any one of them in history. We didn't used to have that kind of thing in this country. We used to have to pass bills. Maybe he'll just pass an executive order in the middle of the night. Again, monitoring your bank account in order to reach into it. Or maybe they'll do one of the tricks I used to see him do over and over again. They'll just take it, okay? The way they did with affirmative action, when they were caught on that way back in the mid-'60s, and they said, oh, well, okay, well, we won't do it. Then they handed it to bureaucracy and said, take care of this. Just do it. But do it with regulations so they won't even know what hit them until it's too late. Those are the three ways that this Hydra grows its other heads, okay? They're doing it also with Elizabeth Warren's Irs Restoration Act of 2021, as if the IRS needed any restoration, tripling the budget to $30 billion a year, which is like 3 times as much as most Central American countries' entire budgets just for the IRS. Tens of thousands of new agents sweeping out across the country and going over every penny you have with a fine-tooth comb to see how to make you pay more. That's now. Do I think it'll pass? I think maybe not in that form, but the Hydra, I think we'll probably cut that head off pretty much, but then the Hydra will come in with another one with the same purpose under weasel words, different words. And then, and as I've already told you about Amarova and her outright saying, we're going to take over every American's bank account. We're going to federalize every bank. No more private bank accounts for American people. Do I think she'll be approved? Biden wants her to be the controller of the treasury, controller of the currency. so she can actually do those things. She may not be approved, but, and the next person will be, well, this new person finds the point is not that bad. Oh no, it's a different head on the same Hydra. Okay, so there's your Mad Max moment. And that's why you need just get away from it, get away from it, because they're not going to stop. I promise you. They've always tried to pull this stunt, but never as blatantly and with as much just absolute disdain for the American people. It's where we are. I wish I didn't have to say it, but it's where we are. It's why I get those letters like I just read you with people saying, I've had it. I've had it. You do not have this kind of thing in Central and South American countries. You just don't, because the government's not big enough to pull it off. It's just that simple. And that's why you can go there and seek a newer world. Build your own world. In the motivational moment, I'm going to touch on that again. But talking about you're making your move brings me to your, every week we do the $1,000 listing Caribbean. And I tell you about properties which are to die for pennies on the dollar. Okay. Pennies on the dollar, like mine. Okay. I just got a note from another one, a neighboring home right there at La Ceiba Beach Club, which, by the way, you can look on LaCeibaBeachClub.com now. LaCeibaBeachClub.com, CEIBA. There's one for sale there now for $70,000. Okay, 3 bedrooms plus a studio office. Huge, 3 stories, beautiful wraparound veranda. On the ocean once again, has a swimming pool, still needs to be filled out, but it's there, be your own private pool. This is like a mansion, $70,000, okay? So those are the things I tell you about every week. Matter of fact, the home I bought, if you recall, was one of them I just shared with you back 8 months ago, and then went ahead and bought it myself. So I'm really sincere about this. There are great opportunities, so I want you to have them. But today, instead of presenting one to you, I want to show you something that is alarming to me, because I started noticing it a couple of weeks ago, and I feel a sense of some responsibility to it. I always tell you, go to GrandPacifica.com, go to GrandBayman.com, the Mike Cobb properties, which are incredible. ECI Development can tell you about others. But I also say go to Vivian, okay? Remember Vivian, let me get it up there. Vivian.com, okay? Vivian.com, and just type in a country up in the upper right-hand corner, El Salvador, Paraguay, Uruguay, Nicaragua, Honduras, and click go, and the listings come up. But here's what concerns me a little bit, and I need to share it with you. These are the listings, and I noticed it earlier this week, and I said, I got to tell our members, I got to tell my friends in the Offshore Club about this. See these are all the listings now, Vivian, for Nicaragua. I don't expect you to read them. I'm just showing you the list there. Okay, folks, there are only 9 of them. There are only 9 of them. When we started Coffee with Carib Carter, about, let's see, I think it may have been 10 months ago, there were like 20 listings, sometimes more. Okay, that concerns me on your behalf. Concerns me on my behalf too, because I want to buy a place in Nicaragua. I'm looking for something between 30 and 40,000. My wife and I are going to scoop up then, so you better be quick. But that concerns me, and I feel partially responsible, because I looked in other countries too, and there are fewer and fewer listings. The reason being, the move is on out of America to the lands of opportunity south of the border. Okay, and so your number of listings is going down. Okay, it's going down. So get in. Don't wait till too long, even if it's just for an investment property. Buy low. Okay, and I'd say buy low to go live there, but at least to invest, because this is not going to last forever. It's too good to last forever. The new American dream is the Latin American dream. Forget about this. I'm sorry, just forget about it. It's gone too far. Do I think it'll ever come back? Not in my lifetime. Now, of course, I'm 75, so what's that, 10 years? But if you're 50, probably not in your lifetime either. It's gone too far. It's gone too far, and it's accelerating. Don't think that the politicians in charge now are going to say, look, the American people hate this. But Biden's approval rating is down around 36% now and still falling. They don't care. They got wiped out across the country, the Biden types, in the election 2 weeks ago. 2 days later, they passed the most unpopular, phony infrastructure bill in history. That's how much they care. So I say that to say these opportunities are not going to last forever. Go to vivian.com. Got the spelling there. Check them out on a regular basis and make your move. When you see a property down there I'm telling you, anywhere under 100,000, jump on it. But you're going to find not as many now, and I bear partial responsibility because of how popular this podcast is. You're going to find some for 30, 40, or 50 still. Matter of fact, at La Ceiba Beach Club, I know there's a neighboring home very similar to mine. It's, I think, only 40 or so. Jump on them now. Jump on them now. Do it, please. I urge you, do it. Do it, okay? And that brings us to, in terms of where you can live, a place where there's not also great opportunities. That's Belize, and we have one of the most popular members of the Offshore Club team in Belize, who lives in Belize, is Alyssa Esquivel. Some of you remember her wonderful podcast every Wednesday, the Expat Mom, and she is a singularly delightful person. She just is. I love her. I love what she does. And rather than just keep telling you about it, let me show you what she does in this interview coming up with one of my favorite people in the entire offshore world, Alyssa Esquivel. Brian, let's roll it. Of course, but it was immensely popular. And then because of one thing or another, went on hiatus. And you will be back this coming Wednesday. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, I'm looking forward to picking back up our cooking series and showing you guys a little bit more of the tropical flavors that Belize has to offer.
It's fantastic. Again, if you recall, folks, she took us on golf cart rides. She took us shopping with her. It's just it is a great lifestyle podcast, video podcast, because you get to see what life is really like in beautiful Belize. And how long have you lived there?
It's going to be 12 years in January, which is just crazy. Yeah. All the time I think, how has it been 12 years?
12 years. And let's back up. Did you go there as a visit, or did you decide 12 years ago, I'm moving to Belize? Or did you have a shipwreck and end up on shore and say, why not stay?
I think, it's funny. I feel like my story actually in that way is not super unique. We have a lot of friends that have said, oh, we came down for a visit. We came down for a couple months, and then, years later find themselves with this as home, with residency, with citizenship. Their home is here, their physical home, and their heart is here. So, I think Belize captures people's heart real easy.
It's fantastic. Well, first of all, it's a beautiful country. I was there. I always tell people Belize is now when I was on the mainland, okay, visiting Belize, way out the outback somewhere. I have no idea where it even was, but now I've visited, obviously, I have 2 homes in Honduras, so I've spent a lot of time in Central America. But Belize on the mainland is the only place I've ever been where when I went up for my morning jog, I actually had to leap over a boa constrictor. I swear to God. It was like,
the jungles of Belize. The jungles of Belize are nothing to mess with.
It was pretty, thank God it was pretty lethargic. But you are not on the mainland. You're on Ambergris Key, correct?
Yep, we're on Ambergris Key. It's a little island off the coast, close to Belize City. So actually not very close, but we're closer to Belize City. It's that and the Orange Walk district are our 2 closest neighbors.
if anybody wants to get a little familiarity with how I always pronounce it wrong. Ambergris. It's a very hard word.
Ambergris key.
Ambergris key. Okay, folks, if you want to get a little flavor of it, go Google Madonna's song Isla Bonita, which is about ambergris, whatever.
You could just say San Pedro. It's the main town here.
Good. Yeah. And I think that's where you are, right?
Yeah, we're right outside. We actually live just outside of town, over on the lagoon side of the island. It's beautiful. We have beautiful sunsets, and we're right by town, close enough we can jump into everything, which is nice. And
it's fantastic. And you are on the island of Belize, which, by the way, is English-speaking folks, and they use U.S. dollars, I believe, right?
Yep.
It also has one of the most gorgeous residential resort communities in Central America, Grand Bayman, Baymen, right?
Yep, it does.
And folks, Google it and look it up. It is absolutely stunning. It's a Mike Cobb community, so it is perfectly built. And the prices are excellent, right? Still.
Yep, they are. We've gone through a lot of evaluations similar to a lot of places in the world with construction costs, but the prices are still really, really affordable. And you get a great residence for a very affordable cost, especially considering it's a branded hotel. So one of the things that's really unique about our locations here in Belize is that both locations are branded, meaning that you are going to be getting all of the benefits of being with a big name hotel company, and all the things that come with that, especially if you're interested in rental communities. It's a great way to be able to have some great investment that's coming to you over and over again.
Which is pretty fantastic, folks. And I think that's an important point to make. Buying into Grand Bayman is a great investment, because rentals and also property valuation. Later in the show, I'm going to do a segment, Alyssa, on what I've seen just since we started Offshore Club, and the prices and availability offshore, because I think it's so important for people. Get in now, folks. Get in now. The land rush is on. People are trying to.
Well, and it's crazy. Yeah, people are trying to find another alternative, a backup plan. But I think too, Latin America has grown in its popularity also in the last couple of years. I think partly because it's still really accessible. So for somebody that's trying to figure out, okay, is this a move I want to really make? Is it a short-term move? Is it a long-term move? It's still just a couple hours from what they know as normal. Right. But you can take all the flavors and all the beauty of Latin America, and the beaches and the mountains and jungles and everything else that comes with Latin America and the people. And you still have that close connection. We can get to my family in the DC area within a couple hours. It takes longer. It took longer for me to get back to DC when I lived in California than it does for me to get from here to DC.
Which is amazing, which is absolutely amazing. And you get to live, as we always say at the Offshore Club, the good life at a great price in the sun, sand, and surf. And also, an added attraction to me, and this is huge. I was talking to my Honduran wife about it earlier today. The taxes are so much lower. My God, folks, I'd rather slit my throat than give a dime to the U.S. government. I just got to be honest with you. And I explained to her, Princess, our home that we own in Honduras, okay, and I think you're going to find it similar in Belize. We own a home in Honduras, which is much larger than the one we own in York, Pennsylvania. Our annual taxes, and it's on the ocean, our annual taxes are about $100. On our home in Pennsylvania, it's over $2,000 a year. And I don't get anything for it. I love it, because then they say, well, of course, don't forget you're getting a water bill and your road repair bill and this bill. I say, oh, what, and that in my taxes? Oh, Mr. Clues, those are fees. Oh, okay. So how about taxes on Belize?
Oh yeah, we're a 2-story cement building, cement home, and we have rentals below us, and we pay $75 a year. Yep. We have friends that have, like they're closer to the ocean. We have one friend that pays $150, but they have a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath on the ocean with quite a bit of ocean front also, and they pay $150.
Folks, you've got to go. What's the best way to reach you? Because, folks, you got to get hold of Alyssa and take advantage of everything she's talking to you about. What is the best way?
Right through my Offshore Club email address is probably the best way to get a hold of me.
Good.
You can check it out. We'll put it on the screen for you a little bit later, and we'll have it for sure in our Offshore Club newsletter.
And that's great. That is great. That is great. And so, getting back to where we started, wrapping back around here, the Expat Mom. You're also going to introduce us to other friends and neighbors there, because one of the things we tell people is you're not moving. I wrote a column. I'm not sure whether you saw it a while back, called "There Is No Middle of Nowhere." Okay, folks, the idea of a middle of nowhere is obsolete. It's gone. Okay, so you're going to be introducing them to friends, your friends and family there, right? In the offshore Expat Mom.
Yep. And that's the thing really, is that community is found when you choose to put people in relationship with you, right? And you can find that anywhere. But the beauty, I think, in Latin America is that people truly desire for relationship, and they desire for community also. And so you will find that connection, I think, a lot smoother in some ways here than you will even in the States, because people are looking for that community also.
And how about with Belizeans? What's the relationship with is it Belizeans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Well, how do they feel about, as my wife, and folks, this is not a bad word. My wife calls me this all the time. How do they feel about Gringos?
Really, I think here on the island, I think we have a great relationship with a lot of Belizeans, first of all. But really for us on the island, especially, like, they recognize that a huge part of the culture, a part of the population is expats. And, we have a lot of Belizean friends that they value our relationships. They value our influence in community. They value our desire to be part of community, and we've seen people come and go. And normally that's because of as you say, the Gringos, that they're not really trying to make it home. They're just trying to come and do it their way, right? That's what doesn't work, I think.
Does not work.
Is the Gringos coming in that think, well, this is where I'm moving, and therefore it needs to look exactly like it did when I was living X place. And that's not why you move as an expat. You move as an expat to experience other culture, but to live someplace else that's different than what you were experiencing, And so I think a lot of that has to do with how you fit into communities, right? And you function and work a lot better in a community when you're actually desiring to be part of the community. And, we have a lot of expats that's how they've approached it. And, it's created this really great symbiosis, if you would say, between the local communities and expats. And there's no animosity. There's not like that.
It's fantastic. My first home in Honduras, which was like 12 years ago, was really out. It was so far out in the country, in a little place called El Pino, right? Because I decided I want to live with and like Hondurans, right? It was so far out that I met a member of Congress, and he said, "Well, where do you live?" And I said, "El Pino." And he said, "I never heard of it." I said, well, this is your country. But it was the idea I want, and it was the best move I ever made, because they were wonderful people. I'm sure just like it as it is in Belize.
Yep. Yeah. And really, the Latin American people are so warm and inviting and welcoming that, I think it reminds me almost of some of the best things of the South, right?
Yeah.
Where your neighbor actually knows your name. That's really the environment that Latin America brings, I think, is that we are one community. And, we see that a lot here in things that have happened on the island. And events, the community binds together and solves the problem together to be able to create a solution to a crisis, right? You know, several years ago, we had a big fire in town that demolished several buildings. The local government came and they helped to support with firefighters to, tear things down after they've been demolished. But it was the community that banded together that helped to, demolish the homes that need to come down and help to rebuild. They're the ones that came together and said, look, these people need their homes again. And they supplied, mattresses, washers and dryers, stoves, refrigerators, all by our community that said, this is our community. We want to support it.
Fantastic. It is fantastic. So starting again this Wednesday, we are going to have on the website, offshore.club, and in the free daily newsletter, Offshore Club Gazette, we're having Alyssa come back and re-begin the Expat Mom. So it's fantastic, Alyssa. Great. Folks,
I'm going to show you guys one of the things that makes me a mom really quick, since we're on the Expat Mom. And come here, buddy. If he'll cooperate with me, let's see. Can you say hi? Can you come say hi? This is one of our babies.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, you going to say hi? Oh, now they all want to come say hi.
Hey, all right. How are you, sweetie?
Okay.
Fantastic.
We'll let you go, Carter. Thanks for taking the time today to chat.
Thank you very much. We want to see you on the show. There we go. All right. This is great. This
is a normal mom position right here, right? Pile babies on you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. And thank them for joining us. Thank you very much. We'll see you Wednesday. Well, I told you, absolutely delightful. Alyssa Esquivel is one of the most delightful people I've ever met. And those of you who used to watch her podcast, the Expat Mom in the past, already know it. And those of you who didn't, but are going to start watching it every Wednesday at offshore.club are quickly going to learn it. And what her reports, her interviews with people, if she gets on her golf cart and takes you all around the island, you're just going to love it. So make sure to tune in. Make sure to subscribe to the Offshore Club Gazette, free, so that you don't miss even one of Alyssa's wonderful podcast. Okay, and that's all part and parcel of what we do here, isn't it? Enjoy ourselves, live the good life at a great price, whether we're preparing to make our move offshore or, whether we have made our move. Okay, right now, I'm getting more and more communiques, letters, text messages, even phone calls from Offshore Club members who have made their move. I think it numbers in the thousands now. And I urge you to soon be one of them. And to help you do that, let me close with, what we call our Coffee with Carib Carter Motivation Minute, okay? And this, I'm not going to show you a video. I'm just going to give you one quote that absolutely says it all. And I read for the first time, had to be, I was going to say 40 years ago, but it's actually 50 years ago when I first started reading the books of Peter Drucker, okay, the great management guru. And in one of his books, I can't think of, may have been on management or some such thing, he had a line in there that just burned itself into my mind and became kind of a guiding credo for me, okay? And I want to share it with you now as your motivation minute. And here it is, and it's very simple. The best way to predict the future is to invent the future. That's incredible. The best way to predict the future is to invent the future. That's what your Offshore Club is all about. It's helping you invent your future, okay? Your future, living a good life at a great price in the sun, sand, and surf, and the freedom of Central and South America. So, as we say at the end of each show, let's do this thing.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us at the Offshore Club. For more information on the Offshore Club or to contact Carib Carter, visit www.offshore.club today. www.offshore.club. That's www.offshore.club. See you next time at the Offshore Club.